So I've always wanted analytics in Forge, and I've always resisted because actually analytics, there is a raft of best-in-class tools out there that you really should be using when you're deploying, a website. But still, it has always niggled away at me that sometimes I don't need to go to Google Analytics. I don't need to go and look at the Google Analytics dashboard because actually my needs are a lot simpler much of the time. So with Forge plugins, that was an ideal opportunity to think, what would be a very simple analytics feature inside of Forge that I could build via a plugin? And that's what this video is about. So yesterday, I sat down for a few hours and I brought that to life, and I want to share that with you now. So I'm in Forge, I'm in a site. So this is the site that would benefit from installing Simple Analytics as a plugin. You can see I've set it up with the analytics integration. So I've included, I built the analytics JavaScript file that will go into my site. And then the whole custom events tracking. So you can just install the JavaScript and be done, and that will unlock certain features. And then if you want to track specific events, then you can also instrument your code as well. And that's what this project, this little website here, this could be any website. It could be your blog, your marketing, product site, etc., etc. So we have this, and what I've done is I've installed into via Forge Apps. I've installed the Simple Analytics plugin. Let's open this up, and we'll take a look. So as you can see, I can see it's connected to my particular site. So this is the first point of integration. My plugin knows from where it's being loaded from inside of Forge what site it's referring to, and as a result, it's going to fetch and load the data relevant to that site and all of its events and things like that. As you can see, we've got a pretty typical analytics dashboard with surfacing key metrics around page views and sessions and form submissions. We can see how those events are tracking over time. You can see I built it yesterday and it's run today, and so therefore I've got a whole 2 days worth of history. We can segment the different event types, so depending on which events you're tracking, we get a view over those. Again, similar for any analytics tool, which pages are receiving those events, which are where's that traffic coming from, etc. Excuse me. So that's the dashboard. Pretty typical for what you might expect as a simple analytics tool. I have built a real-time section, but it's not quite working yet, so we'll just gloss and skip over that. We'll come back to that another time, maybe in another demo. And then I built this settings area. I use this for debugging during development as I was deploying, but it's actually quite a useful little feature itself, right? If you really want to dive in and create custom events, actually understanding the event payload and schema and structure, and then firing off test events that you can then pick up, via the dashboard is quite useful. So I built this little feature for for doing that. So if I want to fire off a page view event, create some kind of random event with some kind of payload, we can do all of that. On the other side, this plugin comes with a counterpart. As I said, you need to, just like with Google Analytics or Mixpanel or anything else, you need to install just a little JavaScript library into your code, onto your pages, and initialize it. So connect it. Very very simple boilerplate stuff. We can probably move this in future, I think, to another Forge extension point that will pretty much handle that as part of the deploy pipeline. So if you just enable the plugin, push your site, and if it's enabled during deploy, Forge will check that, and then it will install the basics of the setup and bootstrap your project. That said, you're going to want to probably track all sorts of custom events, and in which case you'll move over to your code and you'll instrument those events in your code in much the same way, and then just deploy your site up to Forge, and it handles the rest. So yeah, this is an analytics plugin for Forge that I always dreamed about, and now thanks to Forge extensibility, Forge plugins, and all of the great things happening in AI-assisted tooling, I'm able to create and deploy and have this running in production in no time at all. What do you think? Bye for now.